I'm Eric and I'm going to teach about fire type. Fire type is like fire. So I think the majority of them are red, orange, kind of like that. So it's super effective.
What does it look like? Just like a fire?
Yeah, kind of like
Well, a
fire.
flame. The orange, red, and the inner bit is like kind of blue.
Blue?
Okay. The inner bit, the bottom part of the flame, it's kind of blue. A little bit, tiny bit.
It's super effective against grass.
You can burn the glass.
Yeah, ice.
Okay.
It's super effective against steel.
I guess ice and fire, they are just super effective to each other, right? Because ice can put out fire.
No, I see where you're getting this from. So you're seeing that like, oh, fire melts ice, and then the ice will melt into water, and then the water will fill out a fire.
Yeah.
I think that's where you're getting it from. But the thing is, with Pokemon, it's kind of like you kind of knock a Pokemon out. I think it's sort of. No, I don't think that's actually. So fire is super effective against ice, but ice is super effective against. Ice is not very effective against fire. But on the water is super effective against fire.
Okay, that makes sense, yes.
So, I also don't really think a Pokemon will melt.
Okay.
And it's not very effective against. It's not very effective against fire. Obviously, a flame is not very effective against another flame.
Mm-hmm.
Water, rock, and dragon. So fire, like I said, I think is even. I think most of it is not very effective against each other. Water, that doesn't need explaining. Rock, kinda, I think it can't really burn. I don't know. I think it's something to do with like it can't really spread fire, stuff like that. Dragon, I don't know really. So it's weakness. Is weakness against water, rock, ground. I think it's kind of like if you chuck sand or dirt on fire. I'm not sure, but maybe it's resistance. It's resistance to fire, grass, ice, bug, fairy, and steel. It has a kind of big chunk of resistance. I think it doesn't have any no effects or immunities. There's loads of dual types for fire type as well. I think they covered most of the dual types. Like, even though there are like over 1,000 Pokemon, they still haven't covered all of the dual types, like normal and bug. There isn't a normal and bug type in Pokemon.
There are 18 types, right?
Mm.
If you pick 2 out of 18, so how many possibilities? See, 18 types, pick 2 as a dual type, alright? So this equals 18 times 17 divided by 2, so that's 9 times 17, so that's 17 times 9.
I think it's
153.
53.
So it's 170 minus
153.
70, right?
Is it 153?
Yeah, 153. 153. Okay, so 153, at least one Pokemon for each dual type, right? So it needs 153 Pokemon.
I think I'm going to show you an example of like fire and bug.
Yeah.
An idea of fire and bug is one of the Pokemon which is a fire and bug. There is one which is Volcarona. So I think I'm not very good at drawing, so
It's like a flower.
no, it's not like a flower. It's like it's something like that.
Butterfly.
It's supposed to be a moth.
Moth. Okay, okay.
So these wings are red. So I think it's kind of whatever. Of
Representation.
of a sun. So
Okay.
and which makes it a fire and bug type. So it's not weakness to ground anymore because bug is resistance to ground. So which makes ground in the neutral section because a -1 and a +1 makes a 0. So it's a neutral.
Okay.
Do you get that?
Yes, kind of. Yes.
Bug is weakness to flying. So we plot that in. We put flying in as fire is not resistance to flying or immune. And bug is also weakness to rock. And rock is already there. So I think it's rock times 2 because so normally weakness is times 2. It's so times 2 of a neutral amount of damage. But if it's twice, a chord weakness it can only happen for dual types because dual types have 2 types, and if those 2 types have one of the same weaknesses, it's a chord weakness. So fire and bug is rock. So it'll be times 4. And next, bug is also weakness to fire, but fire is resistance to fire. Which puts it into the neutral section. And also bug is also resistance to grass, which makes it resistance by 4 times. So that's kind of opposite of a chord weakness. So I chose this type in particularly because it has a chord weakness and it also has a resistance. So this grass is resisted twice because fire is resistant to grass and bug is also resistant to grass, which is resisted by twice.
Okay, makes sense.
Bug is super effective against psychic, grass. Grass is already there, and dark. Yeah, so what have you learned today?
Okay, the fire type. It seems that the fire type is very strong, right?
Yeah, I guess
Because fire burns everything. So who beats the fire?
water, rock, and ground.
Okay, so I would look for the which one? Not very effective, right?
So this is what fire is not very effective against.
But in some sense, that means that those types beat fire. Can I understand that way?
What do you mean?
So like water in there, right? So
Yeah,
fire is
yeah.
not very effective
Against
to
water.
So it means water is very effective to fire, or it's not always.
It's not always. So have we done fighting?
No. Okay, that's good. So today is the 13th, right? So we have 5 more to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.